Siema. Jak... Co ta postać? Jak zwykle przejrzyjmy sobie. Najpierw, znaczy jak zwykle, no właśnie chyba nie jak zwykle, ale przejrzyjmy sobie, co mam do zrobienia. To mam znaleźć wejście do tajnego przejścia, no to wiadomo, szukać dalej dzwoniącej osoby, mimo braku oczywistych tropów. Kto mi o tym tatuażu? Informacje Joyce o Lynchu. Kto jeszcze ma? Znaleźć odznakę, poproś komisariat o dodatkowe fundusze, obejrzyj ciało ofiary. No to do roboty. Temca korka. Aha. No dobra, to jest rasista. Tutaj może on coś powie o niej. Wiem, że nie mówisz mi prawdy, Kadek.
Listen up, fuckwits. You don't scare me. You cops don't run Revachol West. You don't run Martinez. You don't run anything.
No proszę bardzo. Tak się składa, że coś jednak mamy. No dawaj.
No. He means la puta madre.
The name resounds like a bell in the air, a dark gong.
Może.
You get a bad feeling about it. Looks like the lieutenant has a plan. Let him do this.
No dobra.
Yeah, him.
Przez chwilę milczy, po czym spluwa ta jego.
Then I presume you are familiar with his peonies.
Yeah, they're his little bitches. He's got them all over the unions.
Not just the unions. He has peonies everywhere. Some say he even has them in the RCM. Dirty fucking peonies who'd do anything for him. Multi-ethnic drug addicts.
You're not peonies. You wouldn't be investigating a drug thing if you were.
No, of course not. We are not peonies. But if we were, and one of Madre's drivers were to be stealing from him, then it's a good peon's job to find out who that is. It's not a hard job. It won't take a long time. It won't make Padre Madre angry. But a stupid fucking racist is standing in the way, protecting this fucking thief.
I'm not scared of you or the mob. I'm under the protection of the Lorryman and Carter's Guild.
You've seen that corpse in the ceramic armor there. Did his shitty little guild protect him?
Nah, you wouldn't just leave him out there if you...
Próbuję odpalić nowego papierosa, ale za bardzo trzęsą mu się ręce. Nie kończy urwanego zdania.
The lieutenant turns and gives you a barely perceptible nod. I softened him up as best I could. Now it's on you to finish the job.
Zmusz go do powiedzenia ci, co wie.
The main thing is
No
to
nie
not
wierzę.
overdo it, even when you're trying to scare someone. The most important thing is, how does it look on your resume?
Koniec zabawy. Mam na ciebie niezły towar. Może tak pójdziemy na bocze i sobie porozmawiamy.
What? What do you think we're doing right now, runt? We're
Kurczę, myślałem.
outside
Trzeba było pierwsze brać.
talking. There's some kind of homo thing?
Okay, that's enough, detective. That's enough. Let's just go and ask Tommy, alright? We are wasting our time here.
Kurde. O, spierdzieliłem to. Ajajaj. Przyjdzie punkt. No, mam punkt ogólnie. Gdzie to jest ta pomroczność? Tu.
Looking for something? It's about biological determinism, natural law, the sorting of the races. Not the most popular topic nowadays, with a coalition in charge and all. You might want to change the topic. That is, bury your head under the sand like common...
Change the topic. The way he says it makes it almost sound like a threat.
Ktoś musi być tym nierobionym.
I'm not just racist. Look, I've read books. The science of racial theory has all been proved, even if some people don't want to accept it. People who've studied these things say that you and me are superior by design. So, naturally, we Occidentals should be in charge. Obviously, you can see the merits in that. Open your eyes. Haven't you noticed something different lately? An unfortunate downturn, maybe? Huh? When members of the superior race cease to believe in their innate superiority, they stop competing for resources. The problem? The damn kips are showing a real good game lately. Same with the mosquitoes. And the other introduced species too. They're on the precipice of cultural victory. It's true. Also, you need to realize the dangers of mixing races. Who knows what might happen if people don't stay in their birthplace? You might end up with a new sub-race, with unknown characteristics, leading to extra competition. That's why you've got to control the offspring. Good. If we, the evening people, pull together, we can form a bulwark against these troubled times. Root out the forces that seek to undermine the well-being of our people.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi's stern expression remains unchanged, but you sense he can't be happy. Oh no, not too happy. Men like this only respect two things: strength and fear. Time to turn up the volume.
Fuck you, I told you. I'm not gonna...
There. His voice grows smaller as yours.
Look, fuck you, man. It's some lorry down there. Green, banged up thing. I don't fucking know who she is.
When did she go away?
I don't know. I don't even know her name. She just rules with the fleet and acts like a big shot. Some dyke, probably. I haven't even seen her for days.
Ja myślę, że to jest ten. Gdzie dokładnie jest jej
Past
ciężarówka?
the monument, down there. The Green Temple. Now leave me the fuck alone.
A small temple by the monument. Green. Let's get into that lorry.
Przy pomniku. Powtarza, po czym zwraca się do ciebie. Sprawdźmy tę
Looks
ciężarówkę.
like he got his adrenaline up, too.
X. No i nie musiałem wydawać punktu. Tajemnica korka. Przeszukaj kabinet ciężarówki kierowczyni nieopodal pomnika. To lecimy, let's go. Tu. Tutaj. Co ty mi tu? Czekaj, tam między tymi ciężarówkami. To fajki, idź po nie. Gdzie? A, tu. Rozumność. Te wyprodukowane w gradzie papierosy znane są z wysokiej zawartości substancji smolistych, cenione przez rybaków, policjantów i robotników na całym świecie. Rybaków. Co nieważne. A, to jest ta. Jaka
This
ciężaróweczka, co?
screen found, A to Z, contemporary, is parked in the shadow of the ruins looming overhead. It's seen better days.
This must be the one he told us about. Unless he was lying. Use the pry bar to smash the window. Open it from the inside. I don't know how good it is, but this investigation has taken long enough. We can't afford it to take any longer.
Kurczę, nie mam w ręce. Poczekaj. No to...
The glass on the side windows is tinted and covered with dust. You can barely make out the shape of a seat and two steering levers. It feels like you're peeking into someone's home residence. Inside it's private, cozy, warm, dusty too. The door is locked. The handle looks shiny, like it's recently replaced.
No to idźmy. Gdzie jesteś, łom?
This screen found, A to Z, contemporary, is parked in the shadow of the ruins looming overhead. It's seen better days. Pry bar in hand, you take a hard swing at the window. A loud thunk rings out and the pry bar bounces back, leaving a tiny spider web on the glass.
Nie wierzę.
Damn maggot. Drag your ass to the gym and do some reps right now. Another futile thunk sounds in the brisk coastal air.
This has been hard enough. No need to make it any harder.
He smashes it into the window. Droplets of glass fly everywhere, shattering over the lorry floor and pavement. You can just reach in now.
It went better than I expected. Open it from the inside.
The smell of cigarettes and perfume welcomes you. The cabin inside is plastered with old movie posters. Actresses smile from the walls. There's a radio transmitter in the front and a toolbox tucked under the driver's seat. Some tools lie scattered near the pedals.
On podziwia
These
plakaty.
are movie posters featuring starlets from long-forgotten films from the 20s, the teens, even the 90s of the last century. One of them particularly catches your eye, a centerfold of an ingenue attached right above the back seat. The actress is draped in a sheathed dress, one of her shoulders bared. The faded remains of an autograph run across the poster. She's looking past the camera. A feeling of tenderness washes over you. A longing even, perhaps. Wait, doesn't she resemble someone you know? But you can't put your finger on whom exactly. The actresses and the rear actor all smile you a warm goodbye. A radio transmitter is attached to the dashboard and a toolbox sits under the driver's seat. Looks like the frequency dial is absent. It requires a key to work, but the key has been removed, likely by the missing lady driver.
Strange. There are so many radio stations saved here. Must be over 100 at least. For contacting an entire fleet of lorrymen, for example. This is all shortwave, UW and UKV. Looks like we are dealing with an impressive organizational tool. The nerve center of a huge operation, with quite a range too. Doesn't look like it. It's completely inoperable without a dial key.
The smell of 1,000 cigarettes, some dead actresses, and a rusty old toolbox. You wedge yourself under the steering wheel to get a better look. Seems like the few tools lying around here, a hammer, a pair of pliers, a rusty wrench, have been casually thrown there by the disorganized driver. But one odd detail does catch your eye. A piece of sandpaper has been glued to the throttle.
O właśnie. Po co ktokolwiek miałby przyklejać papier ścierny do pedału gazu?
Sandpaper? A novel technique. Must be to offer some extra grip to the driver's foot.
Cofnij się do
The
kabiny.
movie stars are still smiling from the metallic drawer slides out from the seat. It's empty, except for a folded newspaper. It's an issue of Peripherique from last Wednesday. A piece of paper falls out from its pages. It looks like an article ripped out from a radio enthusiast magazine. Complex mathematical equations explain the basics of something called the Ulan frequency system. These formulas look oddly painful. Maybe it's the hangover, but they give you a headache.
The Ulan frequency system? I've never heard of that before. I know of FM, AM, UKV, but...
The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. You close the rusty old lorry door.
Great. I think we got everything. A word, detective? Before we return to Joyce?
X. Gdzie jest to Joyce? Tu. Zgłoś się z powrotem do Joyce. No to porozmawiajmy.
All right, we've finished here. Let's quickly debrief and go over what we found, so we don't do it in front of the company rep. Honestly, I'm quite worried by what we've seen so far. The evidence seems to point to a rather extensive and well-organized operation.
No, jest to niepokojące, prawda?
I'm especially intrigued by that radio transmitter, particularly the sheer number of stations it can connect. Looks like this alleged drug trade casts a wide net. I'm not sure what the Ulan frequencies are all about, but they may hold some significance. Perhaps it's a better way to connect between fleets while avoiding frequency bleed, or maybe it's used to tap into RCM networks.
O, może podsłuchują policjantów
Listening
faktycznie.
in on your calls between you and your station, a worrying prospect.
As elegant as they are, I don't think they are relevant to the drug trade.
Don't be fooled. Desire always plays a role.
Yes, well,
Unimportant.
Jakie widzisz tutaj powiązania ze związkiem?
we didn't find anything conclusive linking them to the smuggling operation. but somehow I doubt that Everard Clare would be oblivious to something like this happening right under his nose. My suggestion is we use it against the Union in any way we can, to our own ends. It's a slippery hill, but we just might be able to pin them down, indirectly, down the road. We should return to the murder case, see what Joyce tells us about the lynching. When we are done for the day, I call my station and suggest our narcotics department look into it.
Okej.
There are more than enough grounds to start an official investigation, sometime later when we are done here. We do not want to get caught in that.
Co ci chodzi po
The fact
głowie?
that one hasn't started already gives me pause. An investigation, I mean. Especially if the Madrid grouping is involved, and I can't imagine they aren't. It's certainly worrisome.
Korupcja?
All the same, I don't like the idea of internal affairs descending on the matter. That won't help anyone either.
No dobrze, omówienie zakończone.
Debrief over. After you.
Zakończamy. A do niej jeszcze chciałem podejść.
The woman is still hunched over the
Huh? What is it? What do you want? What do I need drugs for, Lowman? What I see, what I feel. The great adversary. No drugs can compare. If you don't know, why would I want to do that? Lowman, what in the name of God are you talking about? Good. I don't care about drugs. Little molecules, they are nothing.
Okej. No to idźmy sobie stąd. O, chcę porozmawiać?
I, saw you poking around in Lady Driver's lorry. She in trouble?
Gdzie jest szoferka? My ją tylko przeszukaliśmy. Żadnych kłopotów, nic się... Będzie się poprzykał i stary, nie mogę ujawnić.
Still better than me, I guess. Told you there's plenty of others who'd tell on her. But, is she in trouble?
Żadnych kłopotów, nic się z nią nie stanie. Będzie śledztwo.
Oh man, that's like a load off my mind. All that stress was messing up my rhymes. Oh, you know. Tommy Leham's gonna be a musician. Sprechgesang, but with beats. I've got a lot of free time on the road to hone my craft. Tommy Lam was taken. My real name's Jerry Lafitte. Tommy's way better.
Jerry Lafitte, Tommy.
It's more him.
Właściwie
The
to mam inne
man
pytanie.
taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
Nie, no dobra. Aha, bo ja z tym łomem chodzę.
The dented yellow mailbox greets you with its graffito.
A momencik w takim razie. O, kim ty jesteś, gościu?
You see a heavy steel door with the door does not.
Myślałem, że może.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression.
Tu się pojawiło nic.
The door is closed.
No to nie. O, mogę...
Can I help you?
O nie, nie teraz. Co chodzi? Co ja tutaj mogę? Nic. Ojej. O! Serio tako? Przekonywanie, półmroczność. To. Wszystkie rzeczy są ciekawe. Kurczę, na razie.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
O! O!
This reality. Ah, yes, the episode. Sounds like an acute case of encephalopathy, now that I think of it.
Odkłada kubek termiczny i przygląda ci się.
Don't be phased, madame. He functions perfectly well. He only needs a lowdown on all of reality.
We may be here a while then. Ask away, officer. I'll help however I can.
Pomogę, jeśli tylko będę potrafiła. A co mi się pojawiło w tych? Joyce jest i bogata, i skłonna odpowiedzieć na twoje pytania. Zadaj je.
All right, you're in. Begin with the first one. You'll appear worldly.
We're in Martinez, baby. A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover, pay it no heed. Aren't we all? Martinez is a district of Revershol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour, north of the 881 and Jamrock. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten, even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has its charms, just not this time of year. I'm not a good ambassador. I've only been here once before, as a teenager. Not a lot has changed. There are ruins, a terminal, fishing boats, reeds, boys with boxy shoulders. This place used to be a province, a workers' resort before the city swallowed it and the artillery did its work. The reeds are the real star of the show here now. The further down the coast, the wilder it gets.
Czyli tutaj jakby rozwój stanął, tak? Dobrze rozumiem. Co to za
It's
morze?
not really a sea, it's the Bay of Revershol. And the bay feeds into the ocean. Yes, we're on an island in an ocean, the world's largest body of water, the Insulindic.
Vast, lukewarm and unknowable, flowing in and out of sight.
Caillou. Imagine a pebble. A smoothed-over pebble amidst a great blue sea, misshapen, cracked. The cracks are the River Esperance. We're in the delta of this river, on the 6th branch, the Martinez distributary.
It is clear this pebble is of enormous value to her.
I would be happy to. What is a preposterously expensive education? We're in Martinez. Martinez, you would be... I'm not a good ambassador. This place used to be a province. A workers' Revershol. Revershol is what you call a city.
Jakim miastem jest Revershol?
The great kind.
As if it's self-explanatory, beyond patriotism, a fact.
Co czyni Revershol? Revershol wspaniałym?
History detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries. In the DeLorean century, 380 years ago, the nations of the Occident, or migrant workers from Seminine and Ile Marat, depending on your creed. They say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. The tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest. By that I mean, conflicts. Ideological conflicts. We are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people in the middle of the Insulindic Ocean, the world's connective tissue. It's where the money is. I think it's fair to say so. Martinez is about...
Wskazuje drapacze chmur za wodą.
22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of the world building. The bottom floors are Insiacom. Coalition government, Insulindian Mission Command.
Spójrz w morze.
Silence. She lowers her hand. The water, the light. It's as though there is no recognition, only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it. She observes your eyes scanning the horizon, then breaks the silence, slowly. This is one thought you need to complete. Where are you?
Yamasai odrealnienie. A, tu. Nowe miejsce, aby przeanalizować myśl. Specjalny region administracyjny Riversholu, Lekalio, Ocean Insulindiański. Rząd koalicyjny, dowództwo misji. Nazywa się... Nazwa za nazwą, a żadna ci się z niczym nie kojarzy. Wydają się prawdziwe, ale coś jest nie tak. Czujesz się jak dziecko, patrząc na te naklejki na lodówce. Naklejki na lodówce. Truwant, firma Apricot, rozgrywki światowe 34. Niemal widzisz swoją sięgającą ku nim rękę. Podrap na rogu. Zobacz, czy się Zobacz, czy się oderwą. Masz wrażenie, że to najważniejsza ze wszystkich myśli. Tę musisz przeanalizować.
Was there something else you wanted to know?
This has been informative. Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure my memory-impaired partner has many more questions to ask, about even more fundamental aspects of reality. Might I suggest not asking them all right now? Madame Messier will be here later too, and tomorrow. Isn't that true, ma'am?
Absolutely. My commitment here is long-term.
It's better not to eat all your candy at once.
Indeed. I'm always at your service.
W jaki żyjemy czas? A dobra, to nie ten.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else? That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question. Better not tie the forestay to the backstay on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with.
She wants to answer the question. Protocol keeps her from it.
Yes, my eyes on the harbour have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered? It doesn't really matter. And I do apologize for the surveillance. Wild Pines can't afford to be blind at a time like this. In any case, it's a relief to know someone has looked into it. If I may ask, will there be an official investigation? I assume you discovered there is an operation.
The lieutenant is about to interject. Cut him off. This decision should be yours.
If there is an investigation, it will be part of an ongoing operation, subject to confidentiality. I am sure you understand.
Of course, detectives. In any case, you've held up your end of our arrangement. I trust you with the rest. Now it's my turn. I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on our hands.
The words bloodbath sound cold in her mouth. They taste of iron and strawberries.
Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with possible consequences for all of Rivershaw West.
Since you are sharing, ma'am, this is also the RCM's worst-case scenario.
Then we're on the same page, as grim as it may be.
Jak są powiązane ze sobą lynch i
I
strajk?
have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail. They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer.
Every worker...
A member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric, or a joke. They did not appreciate the humor. Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering.
Who are they, exactly?
Crenell, an Oranese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating. They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment.
So, what happened?
The story is, one of them, the colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union members to subdue him.
Oh, okay.
He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched last Sunday night. Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbour. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenell contractors carry out their orders, for now.
Póki co?
It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow.
What is the nature of this so-called investigation?
Whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants.
O rany, rany, to bardzo niedobrze.
It is very far from disco. My only hope is that you provide a single, concrete suspect before the mercenaries indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put, if you don't pin this on someone good and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond.
They would have to project strength and power.
The Debarders have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1.
1000 na
Have you
jednego.
ever seen a Hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It's not pretty. These men work in tandem using semi and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have guns at all. As I said, a bloodbath. Many bleak scenarios have already come true. Nameless, badgeless detective of the citizens' militia. All we can do is keep the rest from going the same way. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation.
Możemy jedynie nie dopuścić, by poszło to jeszcze dalej. Jeden konkretny podejrzany doprowadzony do sądu cywilnego da mi szansę na rozbrojenie tej sytuacji. No dobra.
Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell.
Downwell.
Down a deep, black well.
They boast a long list of clients. Saint-Baptiste, Welchman-Lorenz, Eintracht. A warning sign, however. The operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries. Guarding facilities, escort missions and such.
Meaning they're used to operating in war zones.
Yes. All the good conflict corridors, Supramundi, Yesut, the Seminoles Islands, countries that don't have a good record reporting atrocious military conduct on their soil.
Dobrze, ma pani na nich coś jeszcze?
Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources. If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though.
Do you know a lot about the inner workings of the RCM and the ICP, ma'am?
In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I'd be dealing with a group like Crenell.
Mogłaby pani powiedzieć, powiadomić firmę, powiedzieć, żeby ich odwołali?
I have, and they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until they do, it's all on us.
Mówiła pani, że zabity zaatakował kobietę?
Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it. The remaining contractors, their tribunal, it's what they believe.
Co ci nastolatkowie powiedzieli?
That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez.
The lieutenant consults his notebook, his eyebrows knitted in concentration.
Odd. We haven't heard any reports about an assault in connection with the lynching. Where did it take place? And when?
Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly, the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too.
O, ciekawe, czy to nie, czy ten głos tej kobiety, to nie był głos właśnie tej napastowanej.
Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him.
Kim była ta kobieta?
That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumor about a rumor. In any case, it's what the colonel's remaining colleagues believe.
You meet her soon enough, you feel.
Później poznasz, czujesz, że prędzej czy później ją poznasz, okej. Ten pułkownik, którego powieszono, znał go pani?
If you mean did I see him alive? Yes, but I did not know him.
Nazywał się...
Lely, his service name, a nom de guerre most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one. One is a man, Courty, they call him, a nickname as well. The other a woman, Phyllis DePaul. Courty is the gunner, I believe. DePaul is a radio operator.
Ciekawe.
What would you say was his eye color, the deceased's?
She closes her eyes, trying to picture the man's face, then shakes her head.
I can't remember.
W jej głowie pobrzmiewa rozczarowanie. W jej głosie, nie głowie.
That's all right, man. Anything else? Nationality? What would you say was his age?
He was 40 or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age or gauge his facial expressions.
What else? Nationality? Accent?
He was Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, a mixed accent, Oranese, or Messinian maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own. In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it, through the injury. That's all I know, I guess. I only met him once.
Okej. A gdzie są teraz pozostali najemnicy?
They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they're almost certainly armed to the teeth. They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes, ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting.
Vigilantes. You're a professional officer of the only legitimate authority in Revachol.
You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear involved.
One is obviously the scab leader at the harbour gates. The one chanting the idiotic slogans. He's barely maintaining his disguise. The other has a vantage point in a building south of the roundabout. They were keeping tabs on you while you were canvassing the lorry drivers.
That may be so. I still hope you heed my advice. There's no need to kick the hornet's nest.
For all your talk of averting this catastrophe, the situation at the gate is a powder keg. Does this not bother you?
Of course it bothers me, Lieutenant. But my hands are tied. How would my employer react if it appeared I were intervening on behalf of the Union?
Your concern may be appearances. Ours is keeping the peace.
That would afford a good vantage point. In any case, it's practically inaccessible.
Where is your radio for contacting them, if I may ask? Do you have an earpiece?
Heavens no. I'm not an undercover agent. There's a short wave at the ship's wheel. I hope I can answer it better. Until the executions start? Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob. And
They don't report their progress to you?
not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative.
Nastaje chwila ciszy. Mewy krzyczą nad zatoką.
5 days, not more, maybe sooner.
It's a matter of days, not weeks. I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If there is anything else I can help you with, please ask. Of course. Excuse my hesitation before.
Sięga po zdjęcie pod sterlingiem. Stoi tak, trzymając je w dłoni.
For about half a minute, in silence.
It was taken with a trigette not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs.
Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photo's surface.
Co pani o tym sądzi?
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points. The stars. I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent.
Nie jak ścieżki w układzie scalowym?
Close. Port cities. This is an Oranese map of the waterways, a sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolorian century. over 300 years ago, the sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels. The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption to be reeled back in by. The silver cord, they would call it.
Okej, srebrny sznur.
Where is he now?
That is precisely what the sailors feared when they drew these maps. A fear of drowning within one's own corpse. Quite a few. Vredefort, the Oranese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder. He started somewhere near here, I think.
What next?
Then he made his way to the Pretto Grande, through what I think must be the Stutz Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Pretto, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first the Semnes Islands, then this.
Co to?
Revachol. Those are the two constants. Vredefort on the shoulder, and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insulinde, at the dawn of the Interinsulary Age.
You said you can't read it.
I can't. This man was no sailor, and these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning. His platoon members? The other contractors, though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend and comrade.
No, ale czy powinni zareagować na to źle? Nie wiem.
Challenge accepted. I say we do it.
I am relieved you think so. I don't think deciphering that tattoo should come before public security. Is there anything else I can help you with?
No dobrze, to dajmy jej na razie spokój. Troszeczkę się dowiedzieliśmy. O, jest zapis. I jest 21, ale czas zleciał, co? Więc tutaj będę sobie kończył nagranie i w następnym... co? W następnym zobaczymy, co zrobimy dalej, ale... no trzeba będzie... spróbować się dowiedzieć, kim była ta kobieta, którą teoretycznie napastował ten zabity. No nie wiem, zobaczymy. Będę się żegnał. Dzięki i do usłyszenia. Cześć.